Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Flashback Podcast. I am Johnnie Arnold.
And I'm Tina Arnold.
And I'm Meghan Kruppler.
And this is the Flashback Podcast. And we are on 1986, everybody. 1986.
Good year.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I started school that year.
Oh. Damn, you're a youngin'. So, on that note, Tina's going to start this show off with all her little goodies, since she is now a kindergarten.
Oh, my God.
You should read it in your kindergarten voice.
You're a baby.
I'm not sure what my kindergarten voice was.
Oh,
I know, according to my teacher, it was very loud and obnoxious, though. And it went all the time.
Hello, everybody. Can I ask you how you tamed that beast? Because you're a lot more subdued now.
Childhood trauma and Johnnie. All I can contribute it to.
I noticed that, like, when we ride in cars and stuff, I'm the one that just won't shut up, and you're the one that just likes to chill and just like hear silence.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Damn.
That's why the radio goes up.
Damn. Or this podcast.
No, really, it's really hard for me, y'all. I don't know if it is part of the autism or what. Excuse me, I'm adjusting my shirt. But it's really hard for me to hold conversation and concentrate on the road. So that's why a lot of the time, if you're talking to me, I seem to be ignoring you because I am.
See, I'm like that with music. Music like starts getting under my skin when I'm driving.
Music helps me focus.
Oh.
But talking distracts me.
Oh.
I can kind of relate to that, Tina, especially with me just now, like, learning it all over again. I don't hold a lot of conversation.
Yeah. It's really hard for me,
too
especially on the
busy.
interstate. Especially with people talking to me from the back seat.
Oh, yeah, that drives me nuts. Yep.
Yeah. And in order for me to be able to see, you know, like when I tell you, hold on, I can't see. I need you to be quiet. It's weird. It's really weird.
I think there's actually a meme for that.
Okay. So we're starting off 1986. I will say this is what I thought of when I realized that we were going into my kindergarten year. Telling you that I talked a lot and I got in trouble for that a lot. She actually put it on my report card. You know how the old report cards, the little yellow cards that came in the envelopes, and they had the little notes that they were right at the bottom? Well, they kept writing, I hate this because it said this on almost every one of my report cards. She has a lot of potential, but she talks too much. And my father signed it one year and said, that's okay. We love her anyway.
You know what I would have said?
Yes.
I would have said, so does the president. And you have a potential to be whatever you want to be.
All right.
Thank you. Okay.
Moving on. I'm just messing with you.
All right. So y'all, 1986 was another really good year for movies. I just love 80s movies, y'all. There's just nothing like them to me. So it's a long list again.
That's fine.
I cannot wait. Meghan, do you have your sign?
What? Oh, no. I should have made that today while you were doing that stuff. Next week, I promise I will have my flipper. Should I make one real fast while you just write? Okay. While you're chit-chatting, give me 5 seconds on 2 shakes of lamb still.
Yep. We need it. This is going to be funny.
Get your flipper.
That damn thing's never going to flip from haven't seen it.
It sure the frick. I almost said the F word. It will.
Don't say fuck on the podcast, Meghan.
Fruck.
Frog.
So I'm just gonna do like this, and if it's positive, or I just will pull it up if I ain't seen it. And I'm gonna say I'll make it really cute next week. I'll get a magnetic board or something. Don't come for me.
What kind of board?
A magnetic.
Magnetic. There's so many syllables. Magnetic.
Magnetic. So I think it's gonna say. How about just the word nope?
There you go.
Good movie, by the way.
It was a good movie.
That's actually one I could watch over and over again.
Yeah, I'd like to see it again. That and Signs.
Oh yeah, yep. Definitely
Nope.
want to watch some.
I haven't seen that. We're practicing.
Ugh.
Did you watch Nope? The movie?
Nope. Nope. I want to. I remember seeing the previews at the movies.
It was
Because
very
yes,
good.
I did actually go to
It
the
was
movies.
freaking awesome. I loved it. I wish we had seen it at the theater.
Nope. Look.
That's backwards, isn't it?
No, it's
Fuck.
good. It's
Put
good.
it in front of your face.
No, don't put it in front of your face.
Yeah, because that's how you see it. It was out of camera shot.
Mhm.
Oh.
How would I write that backwards? Will they see it like this, or are they going to read
It
it
looked
backwards?
fine to me.
It says Nope. Yep.
Oh, it looks backwards to me, but okay. We're good. I'm pulling up my list because I wrote down favorites too. Because the ones I did remember.
Favorites.
Okay. One Crazy Summer with John Cusack and Demi Moore.
I know that the name of that movie. but
Nope. We got our first nope. River's Edge with Keanu Reeves and Ion Sky.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
The little notebook. It's going to kill me. If you hold that up for this next one, we have problems.
Oh shit.
Stand by me.
Yep, seen it.
Stand by me. You seen it, Megan?
Stand by me.
I've seen it, but I would like a rehearsal.
You would like a
Rehearsal.
rehearsal? I don't know if we can pull that off.
Dead
What?
body, railroad track.
Okay. I would like a reversion of it.
Ribbit.
Come on. Come on.
Not a revision. Hold on. I would like.
You'll get it in a minute,
I
y'all.
might want a revision. So Proctor, if you're watching,
No,
revision
he's
might
not
be
watching.
great. Okay. Anyways, well, hold on. Not a reversion, not a revision, not a rehearsal, but a recap. Like, no, not a recap.
That works. I mean, that
That's a good
fits.
start. But I'd like to watch it again because there's holes in it.
Okay.
There's a lot of movies that have holes in it for
Well,
me.
I know you love
But
the
there
next
you
one.
go.
Labyrinth.
Yes. Goblin King. It's one of my favorites.
Yep.
Favorites.
Johnny had a crush on the star, not David Bowie.
I was gonna say, hey, I mean, he did
What was her name? Jennifer
Liz Hart.
Connelly?
Yep.
Yep. Johnny had a thing for her. Heartbreak Ridge. No?
Nope.
Did you see her little notebook come up? So, my father was military, as y'all know, and I grew up on military movies. Like they're top of the line on top of my list for favorites, and that's a military movie.
There's a new one I want to see called Devotion. It's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one.
The difference between my daddy, though, he was in the National Guard. There wasn't a lot of traveling. He left us. We didn't go out overseas or nothing. He was just a couple of times a week,
Yeah. Well,
throughout the
My
year.
stepdad was in National Guard after he retired from the military.
my father was Army, and I was born overseas. So,
The only reason that my dad did get out when he did is because his health. He had that accident.
yeah.
And
My
that's
daddy
kinda
was.
like-
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying my father had an accident, a really bad one that could have or should have killed him. He was at work one day. He worked for a crane company, and the crane company was supposed to contact the electric company, or it was MARTA Station that they were doing work at. And MARTA Station was supposed to call the electric company. They said they did. The electric company said they didn't. Either way, the power didn't get shut off, and the crane boom hit the power with my father there, and it went through his hands, out his feet, and he was hospitalized for months and months and months. And there was enough of electricity to go through him for like 3 electric years. And that was the start of his sicknesses. So he kind of lost toes and skin grafting and stuff. So after that, he had to kind of get out.
My dad kind of had a electrical story too.
Mhm.
He was an electrician, and the transformer blew up in his face and knocked him. I forgot.
Off the top of the
It was
pole.
off the top of the pole.
Holy
But what I
crap.
was going to say, he was
Broke his back.
he was actually in Army. I mean, yeah, Army first, and then he went over into Air Force.
Yep.
And that's where he retired.
I have a lot
But
of
he
family
never
that was
left
in
the
military.
government. He worked for Redstone Arsenal
Oh, that's,
and retired there. Yeah.
Mhm.
that's very impressive. I'm very proud of my family. I guess you would say heritage. A lot of my family served. But later on, at the end of this, y'all know y'all were talking ghosts and stuff. And I have a really crazy story because it just made me remember something that happened to me a couple of years back.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Just got me
What's next
excited.
on your list, honey?
Solar Babies.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
This was one of me and Jason's favorites. It has Jason Patrick and Jamie Gertz, who also, if you remember, they starred together in The Lost Boys.
I do know that movie.
Was Solar Baby? I can't remember. I know it had to do with roller skating and stuff, but were they actually roller skates or were those the blades? What do you call those?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
Because I remember there was an 80s movie with the blades,
I'm
and I
looking.
don't know if it was that or
No, it's
something else.
actual. It's
actual roller skates. Okay.
Roller skates. Yeah, I mean it's got the guy that played Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't. Nope, not Daryl. This is the guy from E.T. I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah.
And then the brown-headed guy from 21 Jump Street.
Brown-headed guy?
Yeah. If I turn it around to try to show it to you, it's not going to...
You might be
Go
able to turn
through.
your brightness down.
I'm just going to... See?
Nope.
See what I mean?
Nope.
Nope.
So I do want to mention this, and she said
I'll say
Solar
his name.
Baby. Sorry.
Just a second, Megan. Jamie Gertz,
problem.
Jason Patrick, Lucas Hawes.
He was the bigger guy, like on 21 Jump Street.
I haven't got to him yet.
Oh.
What's his name? Peter DeLuise. Yeah, he was the bigger guy.
Okay. Yep. I remember. Yep. What else you got?
What is it, Megan?
Oh, sorry.
Just going to say, you said Solar Babies, and it kind of triggered a memory for me, and I had to bring it up. And I do believe this movie is probably after or before 1985, 86. Do you remember the Water Babies at all?
No.
Oh,
I remember the
We're
name.
gonna watch that one day.
I just remember the urban legend that surrounded that. I don't
well,
remember the movie.
This one's like part movie, like real people, and part animated.
Right.
But we'll have to watch it because it was one of my all-time favorites. They do high cockalotum. You should look that up.
Okay. Sounds like
Only
something
me.
to help with constipation, but all right. Invaders
That means
from
no
Mars.
Yep.
You remember that one?
Yep.
And y'all, I love, she said nope, of course. I love like the cheesy, scary movies. You know this. The cheesier, the better. Maximum Overdrive.
That wasn't cheesy. That was a good one.
So
That
many
was a good
people
one.
think it was cheesy, though. When you talk to people about that movie now, a lot of people say, oh, that was cheesy. That was stupid. I loved that movie.
I always thought the coolest thing about that whole thing was that it had Green Goblin's face on the front of the truck.
Yeah. You
Question.
don't remember the one with the Meghan? It's upside down.
It's upside down for a reason because I have a question. Is that the one where the automobiles came alive?
One.
big rig.
Yeah, it's a big rig.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, then I do know that one. I just didn't know the name of it.
With Emilio Estevez.
You know, the biggest scene that I remember for that movie is when he's like standing in the
diner,
and it's just going around and round and
Yep.
round and round. Yeah.
Okay, so I am a big Robin Williams fan. Cried my heart out when he passed away.
Yes.
Could not watch his movies for the longest time. Club Paradise. It was one of the ones I loved when I was a kid.
Never saw it.
It's where he buys a resort in paradise and opens it, and like all kinds of trouble just ensues. Comical trouble, you know. You don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You should see it. It's really funny. About Last Night with Demi Moore and Rob Lowe.
No, for a fact, I've never even heard of that.
Fire with Fire with
Nope.
Craig Sheffer and Virginia Madsen.
Nope, this was not a good year for movies for me.
Oh. Well,
Secret to that.
Hold on. We're getting to some that you're going to know. I didn't put these in order of like how much I like them or how, you know,
Right.
I just put them in order. Put them down. The Boy
No
Who Could
question.
Fly.
Nope. Don't remember that.
I do.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's such a good one.
Will you stay married to me?
I have a question. The Fire with Fire, that was a love story.
Yes.
Were they in prison? And the reason why I know that, my very first boyfriend, Brian,
What kind of love stories you watch?
he was one that got me to watch that movie. He said it made him think of me. I don't know why.
Did
I
you
guess it
drop
was
the
just because
soap?
it's supposed to be a love story. But he's like, Fire with Fire. He wrote it in a letter to me, and I had to watch it.
They are in a youth reformatory. He is. And she is from a covenant. I think I said that wrong. Covenant?
She's a
That's
witch?
close to she is, I think it's like a Catholic thing.
I have no idea.
It's a Catholic boarding school.
Oh.
She's from a Catholic boarding school, and he's like a delinquent from the nearby reformatory school. So, yeah.
Nope. Nope.
That makes me cry.
Platoon.
Yep. Of course. Yep.
Who?
Platoon. It's got William Dafoe, Charlie Sheen.
Military movie.
Yep. No,
I've heard of it, never seen it.
Short Circuit.
Of course. God, I love that
Johnny
movie. That's-
5 is alive.
Philip. Amigo, kick your butt. Amigo, kick your
Face.
face. Amigo, kick your balls into outer space.
He had our girls saying that when they were very little. They'd never even seen the movie, but they could repeat that. This is my dinner, y'all. Sorry. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Troll.
Was that a
What?
horror movie?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Oh.
Troll.
Troll?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Put your
I've seen
sign up.
Leprechaun. Not.
Okay. So this next one was like, I love this military movie because it was geared towards teenagers, kids, you know. Iron Eagle.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
So disappointed.
Put your sign in front of your face, Megan.
You have to hold it up
There you
so
go.
that it's in camera.
There you go.
Okay, so the next movie I should have never been able to see. It was bad, but I loved it. Reform Schoolgirls. No? It was an Up All Night movie.
No.
It was
Okay,
up
I've
on-
It
probably
was.
seen it. I honestly have probably seen it. I just don't remember the title. If it was up all night, Gilbert Godfrey and all that,
Yep.
I've seen it.
So this one, I wasn't allowed to watch this movie, but I would stay up at night because I was scared to go to sleep. And I've always had trouble sleeping anyway, you know that. And so I would stay up at night when my parents would go to sleep, and I would watch like Gilbert Godfrey and Rhonda up all night and watch those movies and stuff. And this was one of them. It's about this innocent girl who something happens, and she goes to a reformatory for bad girls, and they just torment her. And the head person, like the woman that is the head of the girls, she's just pure evil. And she does everything she can to hurt them.
All right, what you got for the next movie?
The Wraith with Charlie Sheen. Johnnie laughs about this movie. He thinks it's just stupid, but I loved this movie. Megan, you don't know this, where he was like, he died and he came back, and he was like this dude on a motorcycle, and he could shift. He could turn his motorcycle into a car. It was like the coolest movie. Okay, moving on. Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell.
Hold on, I do remember that one. Hold on.
What?
Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
With the Soul Man?
That's not the one they could get away with nowadays.
Well,
Oh, you said Soul Man.
What the
I
hell?
thought you said Old Man.
no, Soul Man. It wasn't like a bad thing, you know. It actually was a movie that was meant to open up the discussion for how racism was still alive in schools and stuff. But anyway, My Chauffeur.
Nope.
I know you know this one.
Ooh.
Howard the Duck.
Oh, of course. Still one of my favorites.
Loved Howard the Duck. I actually introduced my kids to that, and they love that one too. Our kids. Peggy Sue Got Married.
Heard of it.
Look, Megan's seen it.
Holy shit.
It's Nicolas
I
Cage.
could probably use a recap, but yes.
It's got Nicolas Cage and I forgot. I always forget this woman's name. Let me look her up real quick.
Nicolas Cage was around back then?
Yeah, this is. I mean, he was really, really young.
Oh.
Did you really just ask that?
Kathleen Turner.
I didn't know he was like a movie star back then.
Yep. So these are the people in the movie. Kathleen Turner, Nicolas Cage. They're the two stars, and then Jim Carrey and your favorite Helen Hunt. It's a good movie.
I like Helen Hunt.
Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, of course.
Another
I think we
really,
talked
really,
about
really
this
good
on
one.
the last show, too.
We did.
Yeah,
Yes.
For a second.
Yep. Dead Time Stories. Do you remember
I
that?
remember the name of that, yeah.
It was like
I
a
do.
morbid spin on childhood, like,
Yeah.
favorites, like it took them and turned them dark.
So I've got a new idea. I'm going to have several signs. One that says recap, where you have to remake me watch it or rewatch. Because I know that
During
one,
the
I just
podcast?
don't. I'm just
Psycho
going to be
3.
flipping.
I did not like any of the Psychos.
I love the Psycho movies. Megan
I
did too.
love Psycho movies.
They seem so
Yes,
boring.
I would like to watch those again. Those are great, and I love the spinoff.
You like those when you were a kid?
Yeah. Yep.
Ugh.
Loved them.
Mm.
And as a
Yes,
teenager, remember they redid it one year with
Oh,
Ellen's
God.
ex-wife. What's her name? She
Anne
passed
Heche.
recently. Yes, they redid it with her.
Anne
I
Heche.
like that one
Heche.
too. Friday the 13th,
Another one.
6. Jason Lives. This is the one where Tommy comes back to not kill him because he's already killed him, but he comes back to make sure he's dead and like accidentally brings him back to life.
He's like, you stay down. Oh, shit. What'd I do?
But
And that's the moment you know you fucked up.
Johnnie likes this one. The Money Pit.
Oh, about the house?
Yes.
Oh, God. That's
With Tom
aggravating.
Hanks
Yeah,
and-
that's aggravating as shit.
Is it?
He falls to the floor.
Oh, what's her name? Shelly?
Shelly,
It's not.
not Duvall. Winter.
Oh, my Lord.
Shit.
Look,
You're talking about the woman from
this is how we
Cheers,
know
right?
we're getting old.
From Cheers?
Yeah, it might not even be Shelly.
It is. It's, I think
Shelly Long.
Shelly Long.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Christmas Star.
Nope.
No, that was a big Christmas movie that year. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Of course. Good
Every
Lord.
kid loved
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller.
One of my favorites, still to this day.
Megan,
It was a
Megan,
joke. I had
slap
to.
yourself with that book.
Dude, if you've never seen that, there's some,
I do.
you can't even call yourself an 80s kid on that one.
It's a legend movie. I just had to be adventurous.
I literally walk around singing When Cameron Was in Egypt Land all the time. I sing it to my kids. Crocodile Dundee.
Of course. Oh my
Oh.
God. That's not a
that
knife.
was like
This is a knife.
that movie and that whole like I guess you would call sequel, like all of them. That was a big thing in my family. My father would pretend to do his voice, and he was like, my sister had a crush on Crocodile Dundee.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was a big thing in my family.
What was the name? Paul
And my
Hogan?
daddy
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would love to just watch those to make me think of my daddy. That would be
I
something.
only know of 2 of them. Is there more?
I
I
think
don't
there's
know.
3. I might be wrong.
I think
But-
she's right. I think they might have came out with the one like later down the road when
Yeah.
he was like old.
Oh.
Or
Yeah, I think so.
The Fly.
one of my favorites.
Yep.
With
Yep.
Gina Davis and damn it, what's his name?
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Yep.
It was one of my childhood celebrity crushes.
And I know they made a part 2, but I don't remember that one as well as the first one. I don't even remember
Part
who
2
was
was with Eric Stoltz, I think.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, I really hope somebody watching this knows this movie because this was a big movie for my brother and my cousin Rich. The Three Amigos.
Of course. Steve Martin,
Yeah.
Martin Short, and Chevy Chase.
Yes.
Yep.
So the next one was a family favorite, and Johnny liked this too. Big Trouble in Little China.
Loved it. Yep. I think they're supposed to be doing a sequel.
No.
What?
She's not seen it.
Oh my God.
What I was doing. I
Calm down, Johnny. Calm down, Johnny. Calm down, Johnny.
eating dog food, I guess.
Lucas. Johnny doesn't know Lucas. It was a football movie, high school football with Charlie Sheen and the girl that played Andy in The Goonies. She was in it.
Yeah. Oh,
And Corey Haim.
never seen it.
Pretty in Pink.
Seen it.
Molly Ringwald, I love you.
Pretty in Pink is the one with Ducky, right?
Mhm.
John Cryer loved Ducky. James Spader was in it too, but he was an asshole.
I would love to do a Molly day.
James Spader was an asshole in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he played the part well.
Yeah.
Critters.
Yep. Of course. Yep.
Armed and Dangerous
Nope.
with John Candy? No?
Nope.
Megan. Babes in Toyland.
I've seen
I'm
that.
so glad it's on my list. I'm so glad that you mentioned it. I was like, she's not going to know. She won't know. That's like, oof. That had
I know that's one of your favorite Christmas movies.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say it last week, but I've been waiting for this moment. It's got Drew Barrymore in it.
And
See, I like
Keanu.
her. Yes, and Keanu Reeves. Great
What?
movie.
Yeah. You don't
From
know that?
1980. I've seen it. I just can't remember. But
Well, Drew Barrymore was a child. So,
and
kind
Keanu
of.
Reeves wasn't.
Well, he was like a young teenager.
Oh.
Yep. The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy.
Yep, I saw that at the theater. Yep.
Loved
Yep.
that movie, but the one, the part that grossed me out.
When he's eating the grit
oatmeal.
stuff, or oatmeal with
Yes.
blood in it. Yep.
Oh my
That's the part.
God.
Yep. Yep.
All right, Megan, I'm moving on. Night of the Creeps. This is one of my favorite scary movies, y'all. I watch it every Halloween.
I know the name. I don't remember
I
watching
don't
it.
know. That's an iffy. I don't know.
What's the upside down on me?
She doesn't
It's
remember. Okay, so let me give you a recap. So it starts out and it's like the 1950s urban legend where they're sitting in the car making out and she hears something. And she hears something and then a rustle and then she hears like a scraping on the car. And she thinks that she sees something shiny.
Oh, shiny.
And it's an axe.
Oh.
And
Killer.
they cut to the next scene, and it's like these, I think it came in a meteor. And it's like these little slug alien things. And if they get into your mouth, they go into your brain and they lay eggs and they like multiply. But while they're doing that, you're walking around talking and behaving like a zombie.
I think I kind of do remember that.
It's a really,
Sounds
really good
familiar.
one. It takes
okay.
place on a college campus.
I had to have watched it with you.
I watch it every
Let's watch
Halloween.
it together.
The Karate
should
Kid
make me
3.
make-
Go ahead, Megan.
You should make me do like 80s scary movies tomorrow.
Okay. I'm going to make you do it.
Sit down and watch
Well, I got
80s
wash,
movies.
mows, and dishes. I'll be
Yeah.
upstairs anyway.
We'll do that. Okay, so The Karate Kid Part 3.
That's the one with the girl.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, no.
It's not?
I don't think so. Hold on a minute. Let me see.
I don't know.
Because I thought that The
I don't
Karate
remember.
Kid
They went over.
3 is when they went over to his homeland.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know if I've
That's what I'm
seen
thinking.
that.
Let me see.
I think you're
I
right.
loved. Isn't
I don't
it
think I've ever
Elizabeth
seen that one. I don't remember that.
The
Yeah, they were-
karate.
went
The
over to
Karate
his
Squid.
homeland where he fights.
I just want to make sure I'm right because I don't know if that was part 2 or part 3.
Gosh, what was his name? Mm-hmm. Wasn't Elizabeth Shue the girl? Is that her name? Elizabeth Shue.
I'm going to look and see.
No, the one where he goes back to his homeland, that's part 2. But part 3 still has Ralph Macchio. It's not the girl.
Huh. I don't remember that one.
You don't remember when he goes back?
But I know I've seen it. I just don't remember. I don't remember it.
Aliens.
Of course.
That's who it was.
Johnny loves the alien movies.
Try to get Tina to watch them with me all the time, but she won't do it. She's like,
Y'all, there's like, it's too much for me. It's so like high anxiety, and there's like people melting and getting eaten alive, and it's just, I don't know, it's just too much. The whole space thing and
or the Aliens TV show.
They're coming out with one.
Do you remember that series? They had a series long ago.
With Xenomorph?
Where they had like bald heads.
No, different thing. No, she's talking about Alien. It was Alienation. That's what.
Alienation. Yep.
Yeah.
Wrong thing.
Mom loved that show though.
These aliens would eat those aliens.
Right. They'd melt their faces.
And melt their faces. Yeah.
An American Tale.
Yep.
Love Fievel.
Classic.
Top Gun.
Of course.
Mountain 86.
That was one of my favorite movies and my mom's favorite movies.
Love Top Gun, and I'm so happy with the sequel.
Yes. Oh. They did perfect with that. That was
really
like
was in.
What did she say?
I would never admit that.
Oh.
No, I've changed my outlook. I'm just saying. I was young.
I know. Johnny, what were you going to say?
I don't remember, no.
About Maverick.
Oh, I was just going to say that that they did perfect with it. It smooth as butter.
I was really impressed. Really impressed. And it takes a lot to impress me for a remake or a reboot or a sequel to something like that from our childhood. Transformers, the movie.
Absolutely. 100%. And I think that's where Optimus Prime kicked the bucket.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
I do believe that is it.
The Great Mouse Detective.
I remember that. Yep.
It's when they were still hand-drawn.
I got to look it up.
The Optimus Prime?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the next movie is Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky. Is that one
It's an anime.
Yes. Yep.
That's
where
later.
Optimus Prime kicked the bucket.
Care Bears movie 2, A New Generation.
That's when they had like the elephant dude and what else? Wasn't a penguin and
When they added the new friends.
Yeah.
They were cousins. They were that was in the first one.
They were
the Care Bear cousins. Yes.
Oh.
They went to they went to the Forest of Villains where they discovered the Care Bear cousins.
So what was part 2?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know full details, but I know I've seen it. It's been a hot minute. I actually watched the actual Care Bear movies in your living room like 2 months ago just to relive it.
But you don't remember what part 2 was?
It has holes, so I couldn't give you the storyline, all of it. It would.
I know. I saw the first one in the theater, but I can't remember. I couldn't tell you shit about it right now.
I probably haven't seen the Care Bear movies since Clara and Mary were babies.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I rewatched the movie upstairs. So in the first one, it starts out with a man and a woman telling a story, and the men and the woman are the little children in the movie. And the world is being taken over by this little boy who is basically upset because he feels alone. And so this magical book gets him to cast this spell on the world. And so they have to save the world. Oh. And that's how they meet the Care Bear cousins. In the land of Forest of Fields.
What up, cuz?
All right. April Fool's Day.
I know bits and pieces of that too. I don't know it by heart.
We went to the drive-in to see this movie, and it freaked me out so bad. There were so many parts of this movie that just messed with my head as a child. The death scenes, I don't know how they would look today, but for a small child,
Oh, yeah.
they were crazy. Like, one of the very first opening scenes is the kid falling off of the ferry and getting squished, his face getting squished in between the ferry and the dock. You know, I mean, it was gruesome.
Like, all right, so today's movies are more anatomically correct, but 80s movies were like goopy and gloppy, like special effects. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so they just made it probably more gross than it actually like what they do now, to be honest with you. Because now it's just violent, like,
I know what you mean.
Know what I mean? So it's like,
Unless you
but
watch
they
Saw.
added stuff to it in the 80s, like green goop all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. And so
It's like, it was just really out there.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I know I've seen it. I don't know which one it
Grandpa.
was because, I watched a lot of that stuff because of you.
I was kind of obsessed with the Sawyer family when I was a teenager. Poltergeist 2.
Love it.
I've been married to the Sawyer family.
Love all the Poltergeists.
You were not. You were married to the Deliverance family.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Squeal like a pig. Love all the Poltergeist movies.
Chopping Mall.
Yep.
I have that on my list. I was hoping you were going to name it. I remember
Of
that.
course, that's one of Johnny's favorite.
We should watch
We
that
watched it not
We
too long
did.
ago. It wasn't as good as I remember. It was
Is
funny
it
as
ever
hell.
though? Sometimes, have you ever just watched a movie, sat down years later, and you're like, "Why did I
All the
see
time.
this?"
No, this was like
Like-
funny as shit. Though.
Mhm.
Like I
I mean, it was still good, just in a different way.
Y'all can't keep talking over
Oh,
each
sorry.
other.
Go ahead.
I realized I was being rude, so I stopped. I just remember like Dark Crystal. I was obsessed with it, but then when I tried to watch it later on as an adult, I was like,
See,
why
those
was
were
I
Jason's
obsessed with it?
movies. Legend, Dark Crystal. I couldn't get into them.
See, I tried to watch the second one, and I couldn't. I couldn't get into it. It's on Disney Plus, and I tried to watch it, and I was just like,
You still like them, Megan? Sorry, John.
I like the remembrance of it, the way it made me feel when I was a kid. But for now, like, I just wasn't into it when I tried to rewatch it as an adult. I was like,
that's what you were saying.
really disappointed. Yeah, because as a child, I was like, I love the Dark Crystal. And like now, I'd be like, why am I watching this again?
now Legend I can watch over and over again.
Legend
Haven't
scared
seen
the
that.
fuck out of me.
Oh yeah,
That like big red horned thing. Mm-mm.
that was Tim
Haven't
Curry.
seen
Huh?
it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I know.
I forgot the Nope song.
A lot of Tim Curry stuff is just, but I love Tim Curry. Little Shop of Horrors.
Of course. Yep.
Love it. Classic.
I knew every song in that movie,
Mhm.
and I drove
Hey,
my
Miss
brother
Seymour.
crazy singing them.
I have a-
Miss Seymour.
Mhm.
Dead
I
End
love-
Drive-In.
Nope. Never even heard of it.
Y'all, it was another one of the Up All Night movies, but it was so cool.
You got a lot of those. How do you remember those damn titles?
Because I look, I was a child. I was curious. I was intrigued.
You were up all night a lot.
I did. I missed a lot of school because of that.
I have two movies that I'll bring them up at the end because I'm gonna write them down because
I'm not even close to being done. So Dead End Drive-In, it was kind of like set in the future, supposed to be in the 90s. And it was about like this authoritative society authoritarian, I should say, I guess.
Mhm.
Authoritarian society. And they would trap the teenagers in the drive-in and hold them prisoner there.
Nice. I kind of that makes me want to watch it. Kind of.
It was really good back then. I don't know how it would translate to now. At Close Range.
I know the name of that. That sounds really, really
Okay, so
familiar.
it has one of the men of Hollywood that just scare the bejesus out of me. Even to this day, I have a problem watching him. But I loved him. Or I didn't love him in this movie, but I loved this movie. It's with Sean Penn and Christopher Walken. And I am terrified of Christopher Walken. I can't do it. The way he looks, the way he speaks, his voice, like the sound of his voice, he just scares the hell out of me.
Come give me a hug.
I don't know.
I can't do his voice. No.
I'm going to say these next two kind of together because they starred like some of the same people. Ruthless People and Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
I know the names of both of those. No, I couldn't tell you anything about either one of those movies. Though.
I have 5 movies left, y'all.
5?
The Hitcher with C. Thomas Howell.
That's okay. Yeah, that I kind of remember. Like that's urban legend shit too, isn't it?
I'm not really.
Like where they pick up a hitchhiker or something.
Yeah.
And it turns into like a murder thing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Space Camp.
Yes.
You
Oh my
remember that?
God. Yes. Oh yes.
Had a young Joaquin
Yay!
Phoenix.
Yes, I love that movie.
And it had your girl in it, I believe. I'm gonna drop their names. Hold on.
Loved that movie.
Yep, it has your girl in it, Leah Thompson.
Oh yeah. Oh, so did Howard the Duck.
Yep. And
Yeah.
And Back to the Future.
y'all, it's like an all-star cast. It had Kate Capshaw, Leah Thompson, Kelly Preston, Larry Scott, Joaquin Phoenix, who I love, Tate Donovan, Tom Skerritt, and that's it.
I knew maybe 2 of those people.
Really? Oh, nope. I watched movies and loved movies with all of them in it. Haunted Honeymoon
Yes.
with Dom DeLuise
Yeah.
and
And what's his name from Police Academy?
oh God, what's his name? Steve
Gutenberg.
Guttenberg.
Yeah. Yep.
Megan's like, nope.
That was a good movie. That's one I could probably watch again without being like, that's cheesy.
It was a fun movie.
Yes, that was a good one.
Like it really pulled you in and you had fun watching that movie. Playing for Keeps.
I know the name, but it doesn't sound like one I would like.
It's a bits and pieces thing, but I remember it.
And last but not least, this was one of me and my mom's favorite scary movies, Witch Board. Please tell me you know this. It was about a Ouija board and how this woman got a Ouija board and it kind of like possessed her. Why
Nope,
are
but I'd
you
watch it.
laughing? It's a good movie.
What did you call it?
I
Ouija
believe
board?
you.
That was the name of the movie, Witch Board, but it was about a Ouija board. And I'm probably saying that wrong too.
I thought it was Ouija board.
No, it's called Witch Board.
No,
No, she's saying the
not
actual
that.
word itself is.
it's called Ouija board.
Ouija?
Now I said it wrong. Ouija board.
That's
You
what I've-
said it same way you just said it a
I
second
always
ago.
called it Ouija.
Ouija? I
Ouija
think
board.
it's a Ouija board.
Ouija?
Ouija board.
Ouija.
Ouija.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll find out. I'm gonna investigate.
What if it's both?
Ouija.
Johnny?
What?
I need to take a break for a second.
All right.
I gotta
we'll be
clear my
back
face.
after these messages.
We'll be right back. Hello, my name is Tina Arnold. You may know me from my weight loss journey on TV and right here on the Flashback podcast. But did you know that I'm also a writer and a photographer? I have 3 books that are available on Amazon.com: Sweet Lantern, Broken Lantern, and Another Life. You just have to head over to Amazon.com and search my name, Tina Arnold. You can also find my photography prints over at Etsy.com, where you will find my prints on canvas, phone cases, calendars, and many more products. Just do a search for T. Arnold Photography over at Etsy.com.
And welcome back. And now Tina's going to go into some 1986 cartoons. My favorite part.
Yes, we have some good ones.
Good.
The first one is the Flintstone Kids.
Oh, yes. Remember that. Yep.
I had a question about this.
Uh-oh.
Now, I remember the Flintstone Kids, but is that the one that was attached to Captain Caveman?
The original was.
It was.
Mhm.
Okay. I loved Captain Caveman. And I liked the Flintstone Kids, but I really loved Captain Caveman. Ghostbusters,
The cartoon?
the cartoon.
Yes. Yep. The real ghost.
well,
hold on.
There's two of them.
Yes, there's one that is like
This
their
year.
go-kart.
There's Ghostbusters, and then there's the real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters is the good one. Yep.
And Humanoids.
That sounds really familiar.
Isn't that the one where they like flew on the bugs?
No, that was Insectoids.
Oh.
I think Humanoids were the ones where they got canceled because it was like the characters you could see through their body, like their skin.
Oh. Ugh.
Thing?
But I could be wrong. But I know Insectoids is the one where they flew on the bugs and they had the toys were like puppets and stuff.
I got those mixed up. What, Megan?
I was just saying seeing through a body was a bad thing. I mean, I would just think it would be ghosty.
Well, I think it was no. You could see their guts and stuff.
Oh.
But I could be wrong.
The Glow Friends.
Was that like the glowworms?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember Glowworm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's Inhumanoids is completely different. I don't remember this. Nope.
I was just getting them mixed up.
Insectoids came out then too, or
No.
Oh.
I just, when I wrote Inhumanoids down, I was thinking I knew it because I knew Insectoids or whatever. Popples.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the last one. Yeah. I just got my years wrong.
My Little Pony.
Yes, my favorite.
The Potato Head Kids. Do you remember them?
Well, yeah, I remember a Potato Head cartoon. I don't remember the name. I guess that's it.
It's the Potato Head
They only
Kids.
have one cartoon, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Silverhawks.
Cool. Hold on, didn't we do that last one?
Do I have to do the nope sign on these?
I don't know. I told you some of them came up for both years for some reason.
That's because they played in both years.
Yeah,
Like,
I absolutely
I wrote
remember
down,
Silverhawks.
They were both popular in both years.
Yeah, because there's some here. Like, I think that I said them on the last show, but they came up as coming out in 86 also. So I don't know which year is correct, but I'm just going to say them anyway.
Okay.
Teen Wolf cartoon.
Yep.
Yes.
Loved that one. Yep. Loved Silverhawks too.
Centurions.
I remember the name. Don't remember the cartoon.
And My Pet Monster.
Oh God, yes. I actually have one of those.
I did too.
Yeah, the
Do you
little
still
chains.
have it though?
No.
All my stuff
Dang.
got melted. Mine got burned.
Yeah. Mine was just thrown out.
Are you done with your list?
With the cartoons? Yes.
I found one that you didn't mention.
Okay.
Inspector Gadget.
That came out in 86?
That's what it said. Or it was on the list when I was looking for cartoons. I'll get you.
I'll get you, Gadget.
I like Inspector Gadget.
Our
Go,
heroes
go,
get their own
Gadget
mouth.
arms.
My throat is bleeding now, but hey.
So every time I hear Inspector Gadget, all I can think about is Matthew Broderick.
Oh, because of the movie.
Oh, God, no. That was one of those things that should never happen.
I
Aww.
like Matthew Broderick.
I do too. That movie sucked. I'm sorry.
I have a really...
It may have been.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I liked it then, but if I rewatched it now, I might have a different outlook now that I'm
Right.
older and be like, well.
Ugh.
But back then it was good.
I have a really good list for the TV shows from this year.
Okay. I'm excited.
Like, I really must have loved TV this year. Matlock.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Matlock
What?
with my grandmother a lot.
Oh, God. What's his name? Andy Griffith.
Yes.
Damn.
I couldn't get it. It was like right at the top.
Yeah.
I could see him with his white hair.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
He's the same guy, huh? He's just older. The father.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. We watched Andy Griffin a lot in my household. It's
Yeah,
my
we did
dad's
too.
favorite.
Yeah, I loved Andy Griffith.
Perfect Strangers
Yeah, remember that too. Yeah.
with
I love that.
Cousin Larry and Balky. Was that
Yeah.
his name?
Yeah.
Balky.
Yeah.
He was the goofy one. I would be
Yeah.
Balky.
Well, I would be Cousin Larry.
Larry.
Designing Women.
Loved
I remember
it.
Dude, I watched the hell
Zelda?
out of Designing Women. Sorry, I just hit my microphone.
That was a big one in my house.
I watched that show like crazy. Head of the Class.
Loved it.
Yep.
ALF.
Of course.
I should
I own that.
have brought my ALF in here.
I need an ALF in my life. I rode around in the car for a while with your ALF in
He
it,
would
and
eat your
everybody loved it.
cats.
I was about to.
He would have to be cat friendly, but I love ALF. I want one for my car to like put in the window.
Well, mine's a little big to go in the car window.
Well, he was in my back seat for a while when he was traveling from your mom's, and I had stopped a couple places, and people were like, "Oh, ALF!" So like it was great.
Our House.
Our House.
You don't remember Our House?
It sounds familiar, but I don't.
Wait, that didn't have Corky in it, did it?
I don't.
Or is
I
that
don't
a different
know.
movie? Let me
Let me
look.
see.
Our House? Was it? Oh shit! I'm gonna start getting things.
I remember
all screwed up.
it didn't have an older man in it.
Okay, so it had Wilford Brimley. He was the older guy that you're talking about. Chad
Yeah.
Allen, Shannon Doherty, Deidre Hall. It had Heather O'Rourke from Poltergeist.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Remember
Oh.
it?
Well, we loved it.
Corky
in my house.
Corky was a different show. I think that was the name Corky was the movie or the show.
No,
But I remember this.
it wasn't.
Corky didn't have his own show.
He was from another family show. It wasn't
Yeah.
called Corky.
Right.
He was
Oh,
part of the.
but
family.
Life Goes On.
Yep.
life goes on. Okay, but I do remember Our House because I remember the man, and I remember Deidre Hall. She's in my soap opera.
Oh,
I'm guessing that show didn't make it very far. Because
I don't know. I don't know how long it played. I hear the theme song every time I say it. I hear the theme song. All right, so Pee Wee's Playhouse.
of course, yep.
Loved Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Word of the day is
Yeah,
ah!
I always loved Chair, the talking
Yeah.
chair.
And Lawrence Fishburne was the cowboy.
Yep.
Yep.
My Sister Sam.
Yes,
Never heard of that. Nope.
and I'll tell
I
you
don't know.
something about that show. The sister in that passed away. She was murdered. And I'm going to talk about that later on in a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
She was,
So
Yeah,
this is
the
like
sister.
I'm foreshadowing another episode.
That happened to the older sister from Poltergeist too.
Yep.
I don't know. I wonder what year that happened. I'll have to look into that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I just remember her passing away.
So Oprah started in 1986. Did y'all know that?
I seen it on the list. I
We get
didn't
a
know it was
refund
when
on
she started.
1986.
Aw. I love the Oprah
It
show.
was a classic for me.
She ran from 1986 to 2011, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that
And now
is success.
And that's
Oh,
why
yeah,
she
and
owns
then
her own
she-
TV station and she's a billionaire.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. She's got it all.
Yep. All right.
She's
Zoobly Zoo.
Of course.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
Jubilee Zoo. Yep.
We even got our kids
Zoobly
watching
Zoo.
that.
Yeah. Oh,
Oobly Zoo. I
Dance
love
Party
that.
USA.
nope.
And Double Dare.
Yes.
Yes.
Double Dare was the shit.
Double Dare came out in 1986. It was a good
Loved
year
it.
for TV.
I wish they still had that. I don't know why they got rid of it.
Mm-mm.
I'm sure. I mean, no, the original host has got to be like 900 years old by now, but like they could have just kept it up, made the challenges even more challenging, and like used like acid instead of like goo
Yeah. No,
You know?
I don't think so.
for the kids.
No, thank you.
Oh shit!
And that concludes my list of movies, TV shows, and cartoons from 1986.
Can I add to
Yeah.
Yes.
the TV shows? Dear John. It ran from 1986 to 1987.
Don't know that one.
You go, Dear John.
I know that song. I know the theme
Dear
song, but I
John.
don't know the show.
Okay, it was a good one. And the Gary Shambling Show.
Oh god, yes. I don't think that made it very long either. But
I
he
don't know
died
how long
like
it
last
was.
year or year before. That was sad.
I don't think I ever saw that. Or I don't remember if I did. I mean, I know
Almost
who
called-
he is.
You don't know who he is?
I said, I know who he is.
oh yeah,
but
yeah.
You almost called what?
I almost called it the Gary Allman Show, but that's Tracy Allman.
Tracy,
It was
yep.
Gary Shambling. That's what it was. Yeah.
And of course, that was where The Simpsons started.
Not on the Gary
That's next.
Chandler
No,
show.
Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
This is the next one.
That's next year.
And they were drawing the law.
So
Who's going up next?
I can.
go ahead, Megan.
As long as y'all bear with me, my voice is out.
break.
Oh, another break. Okay.
Yeah, I got to get these off my head.
Okay.
All right. So after this break, we'll be right back. Hey kids, don't forget to check out the Flashback Podcast crew over on Twitch when we have our game nights, where you'll find us playing World of Warcraft, Friday the 13th the game, and many more. Tina Arnold can be found under Tina 1KBF, Megan can be found under Megan 1KBF, and I, Johnny Arnold, can be found under Johnny Shades. Hope to see you there. And we are back, and we're going to go into it with Megan on fashion.
Hi guys. So I tried to make this list not so big. The top 6 trends for 1986 fashion would be Ray-Ban sunglasses. Thanks to the Tom Cruise.
I got Ray-Ban regular glasses. Oh, wrong.
Do
pair.
you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's not.
still a big brand. Yep.
Oh, okay. It also plays note to the Tom Cruise role and his aviators.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's not focusing.
I can see it. I love aviators. They're my
yes,
favorite
you have
sunglasses.
Cropped tank tops, leather and more leather. So leather was a big thing.
When
Power
you said
suits.
when you said crop tank tops, I just pictured the guys in those cropped tank tops that had all the holes in them and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do.
I had some.
Didn't they
when I was
like-
a kid.
I picture them in like short shorts
Mhm.
and the
With the mullet.
yes. Power suits, shoulder pads. Shoulder pads
Oh my
was
God, I remember
a
those.
big thing. Yeah, and I remember when they went out of style too, and people started cutting them out.
Mm-hmm.
Aerobic gear. So like like the
Headbands and the wristbands and the feet
Yeah,
bands
and
and,
those-
the nose bands.
those the headbands and the scrunchies. I guess they're not socks. Catherine actually got a pair the other day.
Oh, the leg
That's-
warmers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
leg warmers. High tops.
I loved my
High tops are big.
and my leg warmers.
Actually, Air Jordans and Converse were 2 of the most popular sneakers in 1986.
I remember.
Not much has changed. Now you pay like
Actually-
$600 for them.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
And that covers fashion.
Really? The way you
Mhm.
started, I thought it was going to be a big year for fashion.
Mhm.
No, I tried to get the top. I've been looking for the top things.
I can't wait to hear what year we started tight rolling our jeans.
Oh my heavens, I remember that. What were we thinking?
That your
We
ankles
weren't.
didn't need circulation.
I was just copycatting. I didn't even really think it was cute, but it was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got,
Okay.
Megan?
So, music kits. I have a big list of music kits.
Hey, I did
okay?
my medal list.
Oh, good.
Oh, I
when you-
can't wait.
I only got 5 though, because I only knew 5 bands on the entire list.
That's okay. I'm excited to hear your stuff. So in 1985, sorry, wrong list. It's 1986, right?
Oh,
Sorry.
Megan.
Shenanigans. I wrote my notes wrong. It's 1986, guys. So sorry. Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel.
Sledgehammer. Yep.
Live to Tell by Madonna.
Good one.
I'll Be Over You by Toto.
You know what? Live to Tell was the song that they played in close range.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why they were both out that year.
Do y'all remember I'll Be Over You by Toto? I do.
Sing it.
Someday I'll be over you.
Yep.
That one. True Blue by Madonna. That was one of my favorites. of
Johnny's
Madonna.
just sitting up there. He's going to like sleep through all of this. He didn't know any of this music.
Now, he might know this one, Fight for Your Right by Beastie Boys.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, I remember
Legend song.
Yep.
What I Think of You by Janet Jackson.
Yep, good one. I have that album in my car.
Now, this
Look.
one's one of my favorites. Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel
Yes.
Richie.
I love Lionel Richie. When Johnny and I were originally when we were like planning our wedding, my whole reception of music was going to be Lionel Richie.
Lionel was a classic. Walk This Way by Run DMC.
Yep, remember that.
Walk This Way.
Talk this way.
They were hold on, was it Run DMC? No, it was Fat Boys. They were that Fat Boys had a movie called Disorderlies from the 80s. Not this year, but
Nope. That's my big sign. Nope. Everybody Have Fun Tonight by Wang Chong.
Yep, know that one.
Uh-huh. Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House.
This is a good year for music.
It is. West End Girls by Pet Shop Boys.
Listen, Johnny, for us.
Uh-huh. On My Own by Patti LaBelle. Stuck With You by Huey Lewis and the News.
Loved that one.
Papa Don't Preach by Madonna.
One of my
This was
favorites.
a big year for Madonna. She had 3 or 4 on there.
Yep.
You Give Love a Bad Name by Bon Jovi.
Love Bon Jovi.
I know that song.
Look at him. I know it. Whatever have you done? What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately?
Janet Jackson.
Ooh, yeah.
2 of Hearts by Stacey Q.
Don't know that one.
Of
Oh, yep.
Hearts,
Yes, I
2
do.
hearts to beat. Okay. Take My Breath Away
I know that
by
one.
Berlin. Am I saying it right? Berlin.
Yeah. Yep.
Human by Human League. I'm only human.
Oh, God. I forgot about that. I loved that song.
That's my song. That's my anthem. That's Just the Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby and the Range. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the
Oh,
same.
yeah. Yep. See, a lot of these I'm not recognizing the name, but I know the song.
The tune. Love Touch by Rod Stewart. Now, I don't remember this one, but I am a big Rod Stewart. It's like I like a lot of his music, but I don't remember. I was hoping one of y'all might know.
The
Obviously not.
the song that I loved by him was Forever Young.
That was my favorite.
I like that one. Do you think I'm sexy?
Yeah.
And Maggie.
I remember.
Nasty by Janet Jackson. Sorry, what was that?
So the "Do You Think I'm Sexy" song that was redone by a industrial band called Revolting Cocks.
Oh, of course. I'll have to hear that one now. Nasty by Janet Jackson.
She had a lot of
Why Can't This Be Love by Van Halen. In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
Love that song.
And I'm going to have to say an honorable mention because they did not make the charts, but I cannot go without saying New Kids on the Block. They were formed in 1984 by Maurice Starr, but their first album hit in 1986, and it was a big flop.
It was a test album.
Yeah, but I still love it. It's a classic for me, and I actually have an album and a CD of it. They didn't get real popular until The Hangin' Tough.
It's the only album I know.
They're classic, and I feel like they deserve to be in this category. I'm always a blockhead.
I cannot wait to say you're a damn blockhead.
Yes. So that wraps up for the music, and I'm going to give it to Johnny because I can't wait to hear what he has in store for us.
Yeah.
So this was actually a big year for Ozzy Osbourne too.
Oh.
But I'm not going to start with him. You had Metallica, Master of Puppets. You had Black Sabbath, Seventh Star. And
You're naming the albums.
I'm naming the albums, yeah. Sepultura, and I didn't even know that Sepultura was around back this far. That's crazy. They had an album called Morbid Visions. Ozzy Osbourne The Ultimate Sin and Slayer. Rain of Blood, baby.
He loves Slayer. I can't stand
thank
Slayer.
you. I won't have to I might have to get updated on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I know the names of the groups. I just don't know the songs very well.
I mean,
Love Ozzy. Love Ozzy. Much respect
Love
for
Ozzy.
him.
Ozzy was one of the.
But the rest are just like...
they played a lot of these groups in church. So
No,
it's
they didn't.
Usually in Sunday school.
He's trolling.
No.
Johnny, I know you, and I know you like to pull my chain, and that one I do not believe.
No. They're not playing
Although
Slayer in Sunday school.
Although I did go to a funeral one time, and they played Back in Black at the funeral.
Johnny had a friend that he grew up with that passed away, and they played nothing but heavy metal for his funeral.
Yeah. Oh. Yep.
Sitting in the middle of a chapel. Preacher sitting up there completely uncomfortable.
I came with a pop quiz for y'all tonight.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yep. It has to do with hold on, let me clear my throat. I apologize. I'll just
clear
myself.
my throat.
Baby.
Or did you just go into New Kids on the Block?
Oh, I just said that wasn't that like the ending of every 80s song?
Baby.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, well, you just did it with the tune and everything to you got the right stuff. Right stuff.
I just figured that was for
You
everything.
got the right stuff.
I mean, I know that song.
Baby.
Yeah.
Very proud of you.
That's probably like the only one that I know.
Okay.
Please Don't Go
So
Girl
this
was my song. I was a Joey girl.
This
What?
was a last. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So this was a last minute idea for me. So I thought it would be kind of cool. This was 1986 slogans for businesses. And I want to say the slogan and see if you know, if you can match it up with the company.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm not bored, I promise. Just tired.
Turn that frown upside down.
It's a toy store.
Lionel Play World.
Yep. They actually had 3 different names, but Lionel Play World was the one I remember.
I've never been there.
Where's the beef?
Arby's.
I was
Arby's.
gonna say Winn-Dixie.
No, it's not Arby's.
Arby's has said that, but this is not where it comes from. This was from
sure.
1984 to 1986 was the most popular.
Where's the beef?
There was also a commercial for it.
I remember Winn-Dixie was...
Well, I said Winn-Dixie too because, okay, well, where me and Johnny grew up, like on, well, you too, but you probably didn't travel this way a lot. Going towards Stone Mountain from our house, Meghan, there was a Winn-Dixie, and right next door to it was something called the Beef People.
That was Winn-Dixie. That was their slogan for Winn-Dixie for a while. So I was getting... I don't know.
So that's what made me think of Winn-Dixie too, but I know we're wrong.
I was a big Winn-Dixie fan. They had the best palmetto cheese. But no, it was Wendy's.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Why? Did they
Interesting.
not know where their beef was? Did they
I
have
guess they were just
issues?
saying it ran away.
Like, where's your beef been?
So this slogan was from the 1980s to the 90s, and it was "Make a run for the border."
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Very good.
Then you take a run.
gonna be-
You take a run towards
the
the bathroom. Yeah.
Well, this one obviously is a giveaway, so I'm just going to say it because I don't know if I remember it, but it says "Putt Putt to Pizza Hut."
I don't
Do y'all
remember,
remember
that. I know.
I don't either.
I remember Putt Putt.
We do chicken right.
KFC.
And they also said, grab a bucket of chicken and have a barrel of fun.
Still KFC.
Wow.
Correct. We speak fish.
Captain D's?
Long John Silver's.
Yes. Ding, ding.
See, I was a Captain D's girl growing up. Johnny was a Long John Silver's guy.
Now, this one gets a twofer. You get it in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. And avoid the Noid.
Little Caesars. No,
Not
Domino's.
Domino's, yeah. Oh.
Domino's. I don't know that, well, y'all would know this one because this place was not, I don't believe that we've ever had one here in the South, but I could be wrong. Buy them by the sack.
Weed dealer?
Is it White Castle?
Yes. I've never had a White Castle. Isn't that
Yes, you
just
have.
like,
Yeah, you have. It's
It's
Crystals.
Crystals. They're the same company.
Oh, the same
and I
company?
think Crystals has actually used that same slogan.
Yeah.
oh, that's funny. I didn't know they were the same people.
Mhm.
But I love a good crystal, and
Hey, y'all.
I hate.
How bad do you want a Crystals right now just because you heard the name?
Dude, I need a sack
I
full
would
right now.
give anything. I would give anything, but I can't have it. That would be the end of my demise.
Yes. No, it would be
Can't
the
do it.
beginning of your demise.
You're right. Well, the end of my demise and the fact that I don't know.
Dude,
We don't need to do it.
We
Let's
could all three go ham on some freaking Crystals.
you read my mind. This probably was not a good subject to bring up all this food right now.
God.
Especially not when this is what I'm having for dinner.
So here's another one. Fast food at fast times.
All I heard was Ridgemont High. And no, that's not right.
I heard that too when I first read
Fast
it.
food at fast times. Nope.
What is it?
I have no idea.
They actually have, you ready?
Mhm.
Burger King,
What?
right?
No, at Burger King, I get it my way right away.
Right. I think that must have been later on, but I when I looked up slogans, that was one of them. And where is Herb the Nerd?
Nope.
It was Burger King. They did this whole thing of like, I think he traveled the Burger Kings or something. He had to spot him. I don't know.
Why is Burger King always creepy?
I don't know. That their commercial creeps me out. I don't enjoy watching theirs with the king with the big head where
Or
he's
it's like
staring
coming
in the
through
window.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that is so stupid. It's almost. Speaking of which, at the end of this segment or at the end of this show, I want to talk about some of the commercials that disgust me and why.
Okay.
But it catches
And-
your attention, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, it catches it so much I'll never eat there.
Oh, dude.
They
I
ruined
love
it for
Burger
me.
King. I love Burger
It wasn't Burger King what I'm talking
No,
about.
she's talking about
King. Oh.
the one she's going to talk about.
Yep. And that concludes my quiz. I just thought it would be kind of fun to play like a little quiz game.
That was fun.
That was fun. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Sometimes I am a little clever, bitch.
Are we the bitch?
Sometimes.
I don't know if I
Actually,
heard a comma in there.
Come up with more games like that. I think that would be
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. I just, I was trying to think outside the box, because I want us to have variety.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Let's try something new.
Yeah, I think we definitely need more stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. I'll work on that one.
So what's
And-
next?
Well,
So I have a few other things. So we're going to just hop into the crime segment. And before I do that, I do want to give a trigger warning to our audience. I know that sometimes subjects are very sensitive. Anything that a lot of people have been through things in their life. So just giving a fair warning, this could pertain violence, obviously, because it's a crime, and or other things that people may be sensitive to.
all right.
All right. And with this story, it's kind of odd because it has two sides to it. It has a woman by the name of Cheryl, and the side of the actual killer, Sean. So these two went to school together. So Cheryl was a daughter of a man named James Pearson, I believe. Let me just make sure I'm getting that last name right, because I believe it was Pearson. I have a lot of notes here. So Cheryl was a daughter of a man named James Pearson, and she started experiencing things at 11 years old that no child should go through. Her mother was hospitalized and on her deathbed and very sick. she was left alone with her father at the time, who began doing things to her that should never have happened. We'll just say SA, we all know what that term is.
Yep.
This went on throughout her childhood from 11, and at the age of 16, she was in high school, her freshman year.
I'm so sorry.
And it's okay. It happens to me. She was in school at 16 years old, and she was sitting in her homeroom class with a gentleman by the name of Sean Pica. They had been friends since grade school, and they often sat beside each other in homeroom class because both of their last names, one was Pearson, one was Pica, so the P. Now, here's where the twist happens. So Sean claims that Cheryl confessed they always would catch up on drama and things were happening. One day she's sitting there, and a murder that year had happened where a teacher had hired a student to kill her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So they were talking about crime in the middle of class. And she goes, I wonder who would do something like that. And supposedly he said, I'd do it for the right amount of money.
Oh.
And he said, who would want to do that? And she said, I would. And this was her tale. I think this was her tale. She said, I would. And she said she wanted to kill her father. And she questioned him how much. And he said $1,000.
That was a lot of money for killing?
Right?
Okay.
They were 16 years old. That was crazy. So on her side of the story, she didn't tell him what her father was doing. She just said she wanted him killed. He said, I'll do it for $1,000. She said they never gave money, and that was the last of it. She was also dating this gentleman named Robert Cuccio. I'm so sorry.
Making awful clothes.
Yes. His name was Robert Cuccio at the time. Cuccio. And I had a problem trying to pronounce it too, but it's Cuccio. And she told her...
I'm sorry, we're 12.
Coochie coochie.
Okay.
So this was her high school love interest. And she said that he didn't know about, what had happened at the moment. He was coming over to her house to see her, and he kind of picked up on some weird stuff because her brother was gone, who had already moved out. He was older. And so he started coming around doing manly things to help the father out. And he would make Cheryl sit in his lap and give him kisses and things like that. Cheryl also said that he would threaten her, if you go out with Robert, then the same thing's going to happen to your sister, who was 8 years old. She would come home and find her father laying in the bed with no shirt on, with her little sister laying on his chest. So she said that she was very afraid, that the same scenario was going to lay out for her sister, and she didn't want that. Now, back to where she had asked this guy to kill her father. She said that was the last of it, and her boyfriend Robert convinced her, he's not going to do it. 2 months passed. She said they'd never spoke of it again. This was her tale. And she said one day she hears something outside, and she sees her father laying on the ground, and she runs out, and she is kind of freaking out. Daddy, Daddy. The neighbor calls the police, and the police automatically think he slipped on ice and he's going to be okay. That's what they tell her. And then later on, they tell her he has been killed. Do you know anybody that would have done this? And of course, she played what? I don't know anybody. Now, I'm going to hop back over to Sean's side.
Hey, how was it killed?
Sean shot 5 times.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to hop over to Sean's side. And I almost believe him, what he says. Now, he says they were sitting in class one day, and they're discussing their, normal gossip, and he had brought up, they were talking about the crime that just recently happened, and she confessed to him what her father was doing, and told him she wanted her dad dead, and that she was afraid for her sister. And he contemplated it. He wanted to help a friend out. He knew this was wrong. And this went on. He said he went on for months battling the idea of whether or not he should do it. She did offer him $1,000. Now he says that they gave him $400 up front. Cheryl says money never crossed hands until after the death.
Why does that matter?
So here's the thing. Sean says that the money, the $400 that he got up front, was how he purchased the gun. He purchased the gun from somebody else under the table for $400. And so I'm wondering, maybe that's true. How would he have got a gun if he didn't have, at 16 years old, without maybe having money? So that right there kind of rings a bell, unless he stole it. But he said he battled whether or not to do this crime for a long time. And he didn't want to let her down. He's like, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then one day he's walking toward the house thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. And as he's walking, he's hoping that someone's going to stop him. Something is going to bring him. Huh?
As you're telling it, I'm remembering it. I remember hearing this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I like feedback. He is saying, he wanted something to magically stop him. Someone run into him, something to give him a sign not to do this. But nothing did. And he showed up at Cheryl's house, and the father walked out. He said no words were exchanged, and he opened fire. He said he shot him 5 times because the purpose of doing it was to kill him. And he was afraid that if he didn't do more than one, that it may not happen. So days went by and they didn't know who done it at first. Mm-hmm. But of course, after the investigations and things, it came out and he got sentenced. Now here's the thing. She got sentenced to 3 months in jail for this. The boyfriend who supposedly, now he says he gave him money afterwards. He got, I think, 6 months probation. And then the actual shooter got 24 years and sentenced 24 years and served 16. One of the good things that he says he doesn't like to recap on what happened because he feels really shitty about taking someone's life. But what good thing that came out of it was when he was in prison, he did do a lot of college and school, and there was this program in there. I think it was called, I'll give you the program in a minute. He ended up doing the program, and when he got out, he became the executive director of the Hudson Link, which was the people that helped him with his schooling. So they helped him get his life back and teach him schooling in there. So now he works for them. And that's one of the reasons why he likes to talk about where he come from. Another thing is, after all this, Cheryl and her husband wrote a book called, I don't know if I can say this word, but it's what happens when you have an essay happen between family members.
Mm-hmm. The I word?
Say that? Yes.
Just say the I word and then tell the rest of it.
It's called the I word, Murder and Miracles. Her husband.
That's why I know this story.
Her husband actually later on in life had a heart attack and died for 45 minutes. and she begged the medics to keep working, and they said they would give it 10 more minutes. And 8 minutes, his heart started beating again, and he made it. So that's their story. It's kind of twisty because I don't know, like he admits to doing it. He admits that maybe he shouldn't have done it, but he was 16 years old trying to help a friend. I don't know if she's just not wanting to tell the truth about telling him, saying, oh, I didn't think he'd do it. I was just saying I'd want to kill my father. And like,
Well, can I say something? Because I've read this.
okay.
That's how I knew this story. I knew it was sounding familiar. Her family gave her a lot of backlash. And
Yeah, they did.
and blamed her and did not want to put any of the blame for what the father was doing to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume that that's why
She's
she
denying it.
is saying, no, I had no involvement.
She did say when she moved out of, or not moved, when she got out of jail for 3 months, she had to be moved in with the grandmother, which was the mother of the son that passed away. And her sister disowned her, who she was trying to save. Her grandmother said, you killed my son. One was saying, you killed my dad. You killed my brother. And she said she was actually pregnant. She was afraid it was her father's. And she purposely made herself have a miscarriage.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking deserve it.
And then later found out that it was actually her boyfriend baby. But she had a miscarriage. But she has 2 children now. And I just was interested. I did read some theories. Some people think that Sean was in love with her. And, because they'd known each other since they were kids. And maybe he did it because he didn't want to disappoint her because he did have a thing for her. A lot of people praise him for what he did and think he's a hero. And I do really think that he's not one of those people who would go out and just kill, for the hell of it. Or I honestly think that maybe he knew the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of believe his story.
Yeah, I do too.
So that is my crime for 1986.
Very interesting.
Is there a Lifetime movie on this?
Probably.
That might be. I would love
I've probably
to.
seen
it.
it. I was a Lifetime teenager for real.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little secret. I loved Lifetime, and I wish I could probably watch it still. I got into it because of my grandmother. When I first got married, my first marriage, I would go up there every weekend, and I'd do my clothes at her house, and we would sit and watch Lifetime movies together. Because they were like real crime and real, played out stuff. It was very enjoyable for me. It was a good time for me and my grandmother. So
Good.
Lifetime is a great channel.
That just made me think of something. I'm trying to find the name of it. I'm probably not going to be able to. There were these magazines that I used to read that were very Lifetimey. Like it had all of the different like true crime stories and Lifetime-ish stories.
They were magazines?
They were magazines. I don't know. I don't remember what they were called. If you're watching the podcast and you know what I'm talking about, if you were a teenager or a kid in the 80s, 90s, and you read these magazines, let me know if you remember the name of the title. Because it was like the stuff that we're talking about, and it was like their stories written out.
I do have a question for y'all and the listeners. Do you think the sentence that he got and or the other people involved got was justifiable? Do you think it was like too much, too little?
Well, I'm going to tell you, if he was 16 years old and he did it, 1, he's a juvenile. He's still a juvenile.
Correct.
And 2, considering the shit that the father was doing, then I'm all over, backing the guy up that did it. So
me too.
Especially if they have proof that he was doing it and she wasn't just pissed off and she was talking smack about her dad because,
So that's my thing. If there's proof, if they know, that he was doing it and I would completely 100% say, I don't want to say that it's kind of like,
Vigilante-like?
what?
Is it called like vigilante? Where you're like,
vigilante justice. Yeah, type.
I was going to say self-defense in a way, but she didn't do it. But he was doing it to make sure that it didn't continue for her.
I think either way, he was still a 16-year-old, and it's still that kind of sentence for a 16-year-old is a bit much. And, you know,
I think
they're
that
not
depends on the crime.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. But I mean, considering that what he was doing was to protect her and based on information that he had received from her to, you know, about her father, then I think, yeah, that was like way over. That was way overboard.
It's a tough question for me because of my background. Not with my father. That's not what I mean. But because of my background with being essayed as a child. It's a tough subject for me. Like, I don't know. I don't think that he deserved that long of a sentence.
Either.
I think the father absolutely deserved what he got, though.
I think he should have had some behavioral health things, all of them. I mean, if she was going through something like that, and I think the fact that he felt like that was the only way to help his friend, I think that was a big decision for a young person.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't understand. And even she said she didn't understand the consequences or the realization of that this is permanent. And then I think a lot of kids don't
they don't understand the permanence of death.
they don't think about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
No. So yeah, I'm just curious what y'all thought. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to come up with something for next week. This is
well, I have one for 1990 that I'm going to discuss with you after this and see what you think about it.
We're not at 1990.
I know, but I know it's coming up, and someone that Megan and I grew up with has a story for that year. So,
wow.
I thought it would be nice to have one.
I have a couple other small things, but I don't know if you want those now or later.
Throw it in there.
Go. What were you about to say, though, John?
Oh, I was just going to ask her if she was done.
Oh.
I have 1986 star rankings. This is fast. I wrote down the top 5 star ranks, like actors and actresses.
Oh.
Like the highest paid and who was popular.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one was Steve Guttenberg.
Yes.
He played with Gutenberg. Sorry.
You're probably saying it right.
He did Police Academy, Cocoon, Short Circuit, and
Haunted
some other really good
Honeymoon.
ones.
Haunted Honeymoon. And wasn't he in 3 Men and a Baby?
Was he?
I think so.
Maybe.
No, I don't. I know.
Have you seen that movie, Megan?
Yes, I have. That's a good one. Don't they walk around with the baby like this?
Yeah, he's in it. It's him, Tom Selleck, and Ted Danson.
Yep.
I love Tom Selleck.
So like,
okay, number 2 paid star of 1986, Tom Hanks, for The Bachelor Party, The Money Pit, Splash, and Nothing in Common.
sweet.
Number 3, Chevy Chase.
Hell yeah.
Spies Like Us, National Lampoon's, European Vacation, Three Amigos, and Fletch.
Oh, I forgot about Fletch. Yep. No.
Now these other 2,
You can call me Babar.
It did not give these other 2. It only gave the top 3's names of shows. So I'm going to name the other 2. Maybe y'all can throw in some names. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. Kathleen Turner was ranked 4. Do y'all remember any movies that she was in back then?
Kathleen Turner? Oh, I mean, I know them, but I can't think right off the top of my head.
I don't even know who she is.
She's
Romancing the Stone,
yes,
right?
Romancing the Stone.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Because, yeah, she was big.
She was in Monster House?
Okay, so I'm going to start just listing them off. The Man with Two Brains, Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile, Peggy Sue Got Married, and then we move on to the next year's.
Who
Okay.
Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, but that goes on to 88.
Oh.
Did you just want to know all of them? Because we've got War of the Roses.
Well, we got a good idea of what people could see her in. That's okay. And then the last but not least, Sylvester Stallone.
Yay.
And I can't name all his movies, so
Rocky.
Yeah, y'all.
well, Rocky, but
I never watched the Rocky movies growing up. I didn't watch those until I was an adult, and I fell in love with those movies.
That might get you to watch those.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't he in Cobra?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That was from last year.
What?
85.
Oh. I was like, I thought you meant like 2022. I was like, no, that's an older movie, honey. Damn.
And Rambo.
so I'm just
Yeah, Rambo.
Sorry.
I'm just going to say I'm really into this podcast, so I may have just got way too much information of things that just kind of piqued my interest. But I'm going to go through one more thing, and then I will leave it to y'all because obviously I don't want to overdo things. But this is 1986 stores that were around. Now, I don't know when exactly they evolved or anything like that. I did write a few notes, like when they first came out.
Circuit
when
City.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on there for real?
I loved Circuit
Yes.
City.
Let's see. I have Richway. This store
yeah.
first opened in the 1970s and was bought out by Target in 1988 and 89.
I remember that. Yep.
Ridgeway was over there in Jonesboro, wasn't it? Or Forest
And
Park?
they had
of
one in
those?
Conyers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that store.
I went to Ridgeway a lot. Zayres. Zayres was really popular too. It was similar to Kmart and stuff. It was similar like Walmart, Kmart, Zayres, Ridgeway. They all were like that kind of store. Service merchandise. I actually went into the store quite a bit with my mama. This was originated in 1934.
Oh, wow.
During the 1970s and 80s, it was at its leading catalog showroom for retailers.
What the hell happened?
Hold on. I have a question. Service merchandise. Was it Service Merchandise or Circuit City that had the commercial where the giant plug came down and it was the building?
I believe that was Circuit City.
Yeah, I think that was Circuit City.
With service merchandise, I even still remember the layout of it in Jonesboro. My mom went in there. They had like the jewelry counter, and then they sold stereos and furniture, like anything and everything your little heart could desire for your home. They were actually started struggling and bought out or their houseware and electronic sectors that had issues because of Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Best Buy and Circuit City was their competition. And I think that's what kind of made them go downhill, having to compete.
Walmart screwed everything up.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate Walmart. Freaking hate it.
Sears and Roebucks. That was real popular. My grandmother worked at Sears and Roebucks for many years. Back in the day, packing and unpacking boxes. She was a hard worker. KB. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I remember when Sears had the Christmas catalogs?
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
And then you could order stuff and then you go pick it up from the little Sears locations and stuff. Yep.
Because my grandmother worked at Sears, she had the catalogs all the time, and I would just sit there and daydream of like all the like cool things in it.
Yep.
KB Toy Store, spelled KAYBEE, and eventually turned into KB, just the letters KB, in 1997. They closed in 2009.
I remember going to the mall to go to KB.
Now, here's one. I don't know if Johnnie may not remember this because it had a lot of women's stuff in it, but Merry-Go-Round. It was in the mall.
It sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
It was a clothing mall from the 70s to the 90s. And in 1996, the company filed bankruptcy and closed all their stores. I remember doing that one.
It was probably skinny girl clothes.
Probably
So I don't
not
remember.
really. Now I'm going to mention Lionel Playworld again. From 1969 to 1993, that was my favorite toy store of all times.
I preferred them over Toys R Us. No,
Yes,
I never got to go.
and it was the biggest warehouse you could ever freaking imagine. I loved it.
they
I
had
dream
way
of
more.
owning
And
something like that one day.
they had way more than Toys R Us, and the prices were way better. I never understood. I guess because Toys R Us became like this major franchise and shit, and
Yep.
Lionel Playworld just didn't go that route, and it just killed them. But they were so much better than Toys R Us.
Absolutely. Some of the names they had for Lionel Playworld was obviously Lionel Playworld, Lionel Kitty City, and then Playworld or Lionel Toys
Wow.
Warehouse.
I'm not sure, but I think I only know of one that was in Georgia. And
Yeah,
that was-
I remember it was over there by Ridgeway and Zayers for me was the one I remember. Gahoots.
There was only one in Georgia, then y'all went to the same one.
probably.
There's no probably. There was only one in the state that you lived in.
Probably.
I may be pronouncing this wrong, but Gahoots, Gadzooks,
Gadzooks.
1983.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Gadzooks.
Gadzooks.
Yeah, I remember
They were at
Gadzooks.
the Gadzooks. They were in the mall. Mhm.
Wasn't that like Spencer's or something like that?
It was.
I can't remember. I just remember
We'll
seeing
see.
it.
was
I
clothing.
remember the store though.
It says a clothing line.
Yeah, I thought it was
but they had
clothing.
multiple things from 1983 with 194 stores by 1995, and in 2003 the chain dropped bankruptcy. Yeah,
I feel like Jason worked at Gadzooks at one time. I'm not sure.
They were brought up by Forever 21, so they changed from Gadzooks to Forever 21, and I think that's still around.
Yeah. It is.
Yep.
Radio Shack.
They're still
It
here,
started
aren't
in
they?
Not by this.
Not that I
This is
know of.
2000 1921 to 1999, and they filed bankruptcy in 2017.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they were gone.
All right. So that was the place to go for any type of wiring or electronic that you could think of, like if you're building stuff, right? But they were so overpriced that it was like ridiculous. But they did that because they were the only place that you could find these things. And so I guess it just bit them in the ass. And that was
So were they the micro center of back in the
it.
day?
No, this was a place like, I'm trying to think of something like, say
Newegg?
I needed that. No, it like that. The
Like a
wire,
Best Buy?
like the wire that I needed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I could have just went out to Radio Shack and they would have had like 50 million of them. And like they would do like stuff to build like robots and like all kind of gadgets and stuff. Like you could put a lot of people you went out there to do for like local radio stations and stuff that you do at your house. They would go there to do that, or go out there to buy like stuff to build remote control cars or planes and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
It was pretty much anything to build electronics with.
We actually had a small Radio Shack in Stockbridge at one time.
I remember going there with Johnny.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Probably for a wire. Probably for one of their wires that they overpriced for.
Turtles.
Yes.
This
Love
Or-
turtles.
hmm If anyone doesn't know what Turtles was, but it was all like your media, music and stuff, albums, cassettes.
And you could get stamps and trade
yes,
them in for albums and stuff.
I still have a Turtle stamp.
I had some up when we first got together. I don't know. I just lost them over the years.
Our turtles was by the dollar store outside of the mall, remember?
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
I mean, the dollar movie, I'm sorry.
So here's a little backstory for Turtles. The store is owned and operated in 1977, and in 1986, the business expanded 70 stores with locations throughout many states. And in 1989, they sold their chain to Blockbuster's purchase. Super Club included the Turtles record chain in 1993. So Blockbuster's bought out Turtles.
That explains a lot.
And a lot of the stores converted to Blockbuster.
Yep. Yep.
Two more things. I don't know if Tina, you'll remember this. So it was called Afterthoughts. It was in the mall. It was a store similar to Claire's, and that was their rival. And they were bought out by them.
No, I don't remember.
I remember seeing that in the mall.
I used to remember it. And then one more was Esprit. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. ESPRIT.
Is it E-Spirit?
Maybe that's it. Esprit. I don't know. Maybe it's E-Spirit. Who knows?
Spell it again.
I'm not a genius.
Mm-hmm.
ESPRIT.
Oh, never mind.
I called it Esprit. I don't know if I'm saying it correct.
Oh.
It came out in the 70s and in the 1980s and 90s, but by 2012, they decided to cease all North American retail operations.
North
And
they
that
go.
includes, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. They might still exist somewhere in another place.
What kind of word would that be? What kind of word would that be? Esprit. French? German? Russian?
I don't know.
Figure it out. No, I'm just kidding. Is that all you got?
And yes, sir. I think that actually might be stuff. That might be all my. Oh, I do have slang. Sorry. These are really fast.
Can we take
Just
a
a
break?
couple sentences. Yes.
I'm so sorry. Just for a second.
Okay.
Are you proud of me
So-
for doing shit?
Yes, but I need a restroom break.
And then, we'll do your slang and then we'll go into news. All right. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Tina Arnold. You may know me from my weight loss journey on TV and right here on the Flashback podcast. But did you know that I'm also a writer and a photographer? I have 3 books that are available on Amazon.com: Sweet Lantern, Broken Lantern, and Another Life. You just have to head over to Amazon.com and search my name, Tina Arnold. You can also find my photography prints over at Etsy.com, where you will find my prints on canvas, phone cases, calendars, and many more products. Just do a search for T. Arnold Photography over at Etsy.com.
So slangs in 1986. Gag me with a spoon.
Oh my God.
I remember that.
Hey, yeah, I just had to put these in sentences. Hey, Veronica, take a chill pill. Big whoop. Like, who cares if you're going to go?
Big whoop.
Uh-huh. Where's the beef? That was one of the slangs, apparently. Now, I didn't put this in a sentence, but homegirl or homeboy, which was the meaning of someone you grew up with around town. What's up, homeboy? You know. All I want to do is veg out all day long.
All I want to do is zoom, 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 zoom.
And why don't you have a cow, dude?
That was Bart.
Yeah.
Maybe it was before Bart's time, but it's getting close to the Tracy Ullman show, so you know. And there was my slangs.
I like that.
There we go.
I remember those.
I think Paris Hilton's slang.
No.
Don't do it. I know where you're going with this.
No. Just hold. Nope. Just swallow it down.
She said, "I've got the beef."
No. Oh my gosh.
You gotta take that out. You have to take it.
Nope.
He's not going to.
Found it.
Found it. Oh my God. Okay.
She ditched herself. Love you, Paris.
That's true. 1986 news. President Reagan freezes Libyan assets in U.S. on January 8th, and U.S. planes attacked Libyan terrorist centers on April 14th of 1986.
Wow.
I didn't actually write all these down, so I didn't write any of these down. I'm going by PDF file now. So we're going to go into U.S. events, and that was world events. So this is, in fact, the year that Space Shuttle Challenger explodes after launch, killing all 7 people on board, and that happened at Cape Canaveral, Florida, on January 28th, 1986. And we kind of mentioned... Oh, what?
I was in 2nd grade, and I remember watching it.
Yep, I remember watching it on TV when we were watching the launch, and my teacher just flipped out and started bawling and screaming and all that stuff. What you doing over there, honey?
Just trying to adjust it, but I messed it up. Hold on.
All right.
I got it.
Megan, did you freeze or is that? Oh,
Nope. Blink if you're still with us.
Oh my god!
Was the ASMR of me moving the microphone getting to you, Megan?
I saw the dial tone.
She
What
went.
happened? Was I like, it might have been, y'all. I mean, there's no telling. I was decomputing. My system was breaking down for a minute.
So let's see. The federal debt by this time was $2.1 trillion. Last episode, I think it was 1.8, right? So we're already starting to go up pretty good. Household income, $24,897 a year. Yeah. And we're still 22 cents for first class stamp. And
How much was a pack of cigarettes back then? Do y'all know?
I don't know.
No, I forgot to look that up. I don't think I got all that.
I'll
Super Bowl, Chicago. World Series, New York Mets. NBA championship was Boston. And let's see what else we got. And then you already mentioned, here's a few books that came out in 1986.
You about to do my books?
Well, you didn't do them.
I told you I was going to do
Oh,
them
you already
after.
got a list. All right, well, never mind. I'll just pass it on then. Here's some deaths of people that, oh my God. Georgia O'Keeffe died in 1986.
Who is that?
She is the one that did the paintings of like the cow skulls and stuff. Yeah, if you would have to look up, you would know who she was.
Okay.
And that's about it. That's the only person I know on that list.
Read the list.
Duchess of Windsor.
I used to hang out with her. Who else?
Yeah, she was a pretty fly chick. Harold Macmillan.
No.
Yeah, he was a pretty cool dude too. He was pretty fly. And Olaf Palme, or Palme, actually.
Isn't that the snowman?
Yes. Yep. Used to be.
What was the snowman's name? Olaf.
Olaf, yeah.
Wow.
Now let's get into interesting stuff. Video games.
Oh.
So, talked about this last episode, and y'all are like Nintendo people. So, The Legend of Zelda.
Yes, that was the other game that I was going to tell y'all that I played on my NES, but I couldn't tell you because it wasn't in the right year.
Your mother was a very big Zelda player when we were kids.
Yep.
She used to play that hardcore.
Yep.
She played that when
Yes.
we were together. Like,
Yep. I want to get a Triforce tattoo.
that would be cool.
Does she still have that system?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, if she doesn't, I would love to like find something that she could replay that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Because I know she was so into it.
No, I meant when we first got together, she did. She doesn't now.
Oh, what happened to it?
I think it quit working.
Oh, no.
That breaks my heart. I bet she would enjoy that, y'all. We should come up with something like for Christmas time for her so she can relive her Zelda years.
Okay, Mom, if you're watching, just forget that before Christmas.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, Mom. It was just an idea.
Number 2, Super Mario Brothers, The Lost Levels. I remember this game.
I remember the name, but I don't know if I ever played it.
Metroid? Don't remember. Castlevania?
Don't remember.
I know Castlevania.
Yep, the vampire guy.
I'll tell you, John loves that game.
Which game?
Castlevania.
The Castlevania.
Oh, yeah.
And he listens to the Let's Play. He's really big into like Let's Play games. And that's one of them.
It's not a new one, but I got the newer Castlevania. It's really fun. It came out a few years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
I just realized he wasn't even born this year.
Well, no shit.
I'm already in the 2nd grade.
Let's see. Ghostbusters, the video game.
Yep.
Remember that?
Now, I remember this on Sega, and I didn't even know that y'all had this. Wonder Boy.
Remember that?
The Black Cauldron. Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah, I know the movie, not the game.
And I didn't know that Nintendo, or maybe this could have been arcade also. It doesn't specify. Outrun. That was one of my favorite racing games. I love racing games. I absolutely love racing games. Let's see. Death Wish 3 was a video game?
I know the movie.
Yeah. What was his name? Charles Bronson? Howard the Duck.
I didn't know they had a game.
I didn't either.
It's called Howard the Duck Adventure on Volcano Island.
Oh my God.
Versus Super Mario Brothers Rampage. You don't remember? They made a
I
movie.
know the name.
They made a movie. Remember the big monsters and stuff?
Oh, I love the movie. I never played the game.
Oh, no. That was like a classic. They had it on arcade and Nintendo and Sega and on computers. And I didn't know. I thought this was a Sega thing too. Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Then
I don't know that
he was a
one.
little guy with a big fat head. And, yeah.
Oh, if I've seen an image of mine, I might.
Batman. And I don't know why they brought this one back out, but it says Super Mario Brothers again. I guess they're doing the same thing they did to you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think what it is it was popular then. That's why it's on the list.
Yeah. Wonder Boy 2.
They were just knocking them out.
Yeah. Let's see what else they got. All Night Nippon Super Mario Brothers. I have no idea.
No.
And that's got Gremlins on here again. This is for the Atari 5200. I don't remember that. Let's see. Alter
Do y'all know I still have a Super Mario Brothers or a Nintendo and a Nintendo 64?
You do?
In my room. I also have a Sega, which I'm fixing to sell my Sega to make
Tina
some
bought
money.
me one of the remakes of the Sega Genesis and like a couple of years ago, and Aiden killed the controller on it.
Oof. I have a Sega
He
and
also destroyed my little Nintendo.
Yep, I bought her a Nintendo, and it was like a little miniature NES, and he destroyed it.
He's rough on games.
Yeah. King's Quest 3.
I remember that.
The Goonies again.
Oh,
I guess this one
that was a game?
Yeah, I guess this is. They had it for Atari too, so I'm guessing this is where like they start updating the graphics. Super Mario Brothers Special, the Transformers, Fist of the North Star, and Shanghai.
I kind of remember Shanghai.
I remember Fist
I
of
thought
the
that
North
was
Star.
a movie.
I think there is a movie called Shanghai too.
But I remember the game.
Yeah, and that's all I got. So I guess we're going to
I
go
love
into general discussion time.
I have a list of books
Oh,
from 1986.
do your list of books from 19.
It's not very long. But okay, so I'm going to go down my list of books and then I'm going to tell you who my favorite author was, because this year is okay, so It by Stephen King. The Prince of Tides by Pat Conroy. Love You Forever by Robert Munsch.
I'll love you forever.
Oh, I love you forever too. Do you know what book I'm talking about?
No.
I read it to the kids. I'll read it to you. The Born Supremacy by Robert Ludlum.
Oh,
And then
seen the movie.
Garden of Shadows by V.C. Andrews. Garden of Shadows was the 5th book of the Dollinger family, and that's the Flowers in the Attic family. It told the story of the grandmother from the Flowers in the Attic and why she was the way that she was. how she became the evil grandmother that you all knew from the movie.
All right.
But V.C. Andrews was my favorite author growing up. I read all of her books, and she died in 1986.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Really? How old was she? Do you know?
I do not know, but I can look it up.
She had a
Just curious.
ghostwriter take over for her, didn't she?
Well, that's what I was about to say. She was 63 years old, and she had her estate hired Andrew Niederman to take over as her ghostwriter, and he actually finished up some of the manuscripts that she had written, and they were just unfinished. And then he started writing new books under her name.
Mm.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yep. So those were my books of 1986.
What else you got? I know you want to talk about something very specific, honey.
My ghost story.
Yeah.
So, all right. Where we left off last week was my first encounter with the supernatural paranormal. I mean, I'm not really sure. My teenage years were kind of crazy, so there wasn't a whole lot of stuff, but it started back up again when my kids were born, when our children were born. And, all babies coo and awe and look at things and play with things because they're just learning about the world around them, right? When Clara was little, though, it was a little bit more than that. The difference between her and then when Mary was born just a year later was that Mary did the normal ooh and ah and the baby talk and all of that. Clara actually seemed to be like having conversations. Like she was laughing and playing and responding to something that we couldn't see in the room with her. So we knew from like really young with Clara that she was sensitive. Later, Mary would actually start to be sensitive to it as well. And when Mary was just under a year old, Johnnie and I had moved with the girls to a trailer in Stockbridge. And it was, I mean, the place was not in the best conditions as far as like the previous owners had left all of their trash and some of their belongings, which was really weird to us. But to move in faster, I told them that I would just get rid of the stuff and I would clean the place up and we could get in there. And so they let us do that. Well, I didn't know until later why those people maybe left so quickly that they left a lot of their stuff. And Meghan, you were there for this. But when it started was they were like, they would go and play. Mary wasn't walking yet. Clara was walking. They would go back in their rooms and play. I would leave Mary sitting in her floor with her door open because she was crawling. And I would hear Mary like interacting with Clara is what I thought. And I would go back there to like check on them, and Clara wouldn't be in the room, and Mary would be playing with something, or, you know, like it was like she was playing back and forth with her sister, like moving a toy for Clara to grab, you know, that kind of thing. But Clara wasn't in the room with her. And that went on for quite a while. And Johnnie and I would go back there and we would find Mary like that, playing and moving toys around to something. I know that sounds like she's just a baby playing, but she was trying to give it to something, like trying to hand the toy to something. Trying to remember like when it started. Well, the first night that we stayed there, Johnnie was working night shift as a security guard, and me and the girls were there alone. The back doorknob started to rattle like somebody was trying to get in. And so I called the police, and we lived in the city, like right behind Walmart. So we were right out there. The police got there really, really quickly. And they went around the neighborhood, around our street, behind our house, and they couldn't find anybody. So from that night, I started like barricading me and my girls in to my bedroom with the dresser in front of the door because I was terrified. The back door, it was a trailer, and the back door, you could have very easily knocked that open or pulled it open. So that went on for like a couple of nights, and it got so bad that I had to call friends of mine to come and pick us up and take us to my parents' house because I was scared. I thought somebody was trying to break in. But every time the police would come out, they couldn't find anybody. Well, fast forward a couple of nights, and I'm trying to remember the order of things, y'all. Me and Johnnie were asleep. It was his day off. And we wake up to the sound of children running through our house towards our door.
Insanely loud.
Like it was
well,
like bigger children than what we had. And we just waited and we watched, and they never came to the door. They never opened the door. And so we got up and we went looking, and by this time, I think, actually, I don't think it was just a couple of nights later. I think it was maybe a couple months later, because Mary had started walking. So that's why we thought maybe it was them and they were just somehow being really loud. They were asleep on the other side of the house. Like they were asleep in their beds. And that carried on for a very long time, probably for the duration of us staying in that place. In the mornings, we would always hear that, and none of the kids, Claire and Mary, never came to the door. It was never them. So I'm going to get as far as my dream, and then I'll save the rest for next week. So I had a dream one night. Oh, you know what? You're going to have to cut this out because that was the last thing that happened. I can't do the dream yet.
No, well, no. I mean, hey, this is the trailer that when I was getting ready for work, right? And found the little square. That's
what I was about to go into. That is what came after the kids. Y'all, it's been so long that it kind of, the order of when it happened is mixed up. All right, so Johnnie was getting up to get ready for work, and he walked into the bathroom, and the bathroom had like little different colored tiles in it on the floor.
Green and white. Green tiles and white tiles.
And right in the middle of one of the green tiles, when you first walked into the bathroom door, the word hi was like scraped out of the tile.
I actually have a photo still of that. I gotta find it though.
It was so creepy. It was so scary because we knew nobody had been in there, and our girls were the only other people there, and they were too little to do that. They wouldn't have even been able to write hi. Mm-mm. So then from that was Christmas Eve.
Is that the toy incident?
This is when you were there, Meghan.
Uh-huh.
So we were setting up for Christmas Eve, and Johnnie had bought Mary a writing toy that you had to put a key in and turn it for it to turn on. And it made did the lights and the music and all kinds of stuff. Well, Meghan and Johnnie and I were sitting there, and we were waiting. I guess we had just finished wrapping everything, and we were putting everything under the tree. And we sat down and we were talking. The girls were asleep, and that toy just started going off on its own. Nobody was touching it. Nobody had been near it for a little while. And you had to turn the key to turn it on. It wouldn't turn on without the key. And I remember that just like really freaking all three of us out, because that was like up until that moment, we questioned what we were hearing, and we questioned what we were seeing. And, even though we had had the experiences as a child, you doubt what you see and what you hear sometimes, and you try to like explain it away and rationalize it. But that one, we couldn't explain it away because the key wasn't in the toy and it was going off. And I know some people will probably say, well, it was probably a dead battery, but it was new batteries. So,
and that's just to put a lot of those experience. That's mild compared to other stuff.
It
that
is. It
happened
gets
there.
so much bigger, but this is the start of it.
Yeah.
And this is where we really we couldn't not take notice of what was happening around us.
Was this the trailer I also visited?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how to clarify that one.
I will in just a second. I want to know what Johnnie was about to say.
I don't remember.
I'm so sorry.
Lost it. I'm old. I can't keep up.
This was okay. So I was putting the kids to bed one night. This is what Megan's talking about. I was putting the kids to bed, and I walked. Their room was, you know how a single wide trailer is set up. There's the master bedroom on one side, then the kitchen, then the living room, then another bedroom, then the bathroom, then another bedroom. Well, the bedroom that was at the very far end was where I put the girls to sleep. And the bathroom was right outside of their room to the right. And I was leaving their bathroom. And as I was walking out their door, I smelled Megan's perfume. So I turned my head to the right, and Megan was standing in my bathroom. And I just kept walking until it really hit me that Meghan is standing in my bathroom, but she wasn't over there that night. And so I walked back and looked in the bathroom, and she wasn't there. She wasn't standing there, but my whole side of the house over there smelled very strongly of her perfume. So I called her on the phone and woke her up. She was asleep, and we believed that she had somehow done astral projection. Are you about to cry?
Dreaming about y'all. Yeah, because it was so freaky for me. Because
you were dreaming about us?
Yeah. I have had a lot. That's something I'd like to deep dive into later on as we go through these podcasts about some of my experiences with that. And as I got older and the sicker I got, a lot of, I call it spiritual things and leaving my body type ordeals happened. But I do believe I was visiting y'all that day.
Yeah, it was very real. Like, I really couldn't figure out in the just span of a few moments why you were standing in my bathroom, and then to come right back and you weren't there freaked me out.
Well,
Now,
eventually we're going to run out of years to cover. So, and I want to continue after we, the podcast after we run out of all these years. So we'll have plenty of stuff to be able to talk about. And it might not be necessarily reminiscing back to
Right.
growing up, but we'll bring it all out. Yep.
Now, I do have a question for you. This wasn't about ghost, but do you remember the time we lived in Swan Lake? We became, I guess that was the iconic when we became real best friends. And my phone rang and your phone rang at the same time. And I did not call her. She did not call me, but our phones rang at the same time. And we picked up answering hello.
Mm-hmm.
And she picked up answering. We didn't call each other, but something hooked us up that moment.
Yep.
That was freaky. I was like, you didn't call me? She goes, no, you called me. I'm like, no, I didn't. My phone just rang. I still to today don't know how that happened.
That's God's honest truth. That really did happen.
Yeah, I've had something like that happen when I was a kid or younger.
Don't know how the hell it happened, but it did. And I do have one more thing, since we were talking about my father having the electrical incident. I'm gonna fast forward this to, it was John had already moved in with me and my parents, and he was helping me with my father and stuff at times. My father, because of his electrical accident, he eventually developed what was gout. But it was like textbook gout. So bad. It was like knots all over his body. He ended up having to wear gauze and things like that. So one day, I'm running through some apps on my phone. I'm like, oh, this one looks good. I think we had just watched some kind of ghost show or something. So it's like, I'm going to download this app. It was supposed to pick up ghosts in your room. And I downloaded it and we're laying in the bed. It was around Christmas time. And with this app, it will show you like red things in your room or like show you where make a noise. And then words will come across your phone to tell you like what it's trying to speak. And these are the words that came across my phone. Father, galls, electric, and then something human. I don't know what the human part was for, but those three things scared the living shit out of me, and I immediately deleted that app. But I did, before I did, they had a little thing on there where you could save the words and send them to your email. And I saved that incident because I was like, I still don't know how that happened. But whatever it was communicating with me. I feel like something was communicating to saying, I'm here. Your father, who was wrapped in gauze, who was electrocuted. Like that's just, for them three words to be all thrown out at the same time. How?
Yeah, that's cool. Me and Tina both have had incidences where like we smell like perfume, and my grandfather drank a lot, so we've have both smelt beer and and stuff like that, and we've both had like the smell of rose perfume, which both of our grandmothers wore, and and then stuff like that. So I don't know. Some people say it's like your brain kind of triggering memories and stuff, but I don't know. Because when you're sitting there smelling the same thing with somebody else that is just completely off the wall, should not be there, and you're smelling it at the same time that somebody else is smelling it, there's no explaining that. That's not your brain messing with you. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a story about that. I used to ride late at night down the back roads of, I guess, Stockbridge Conyers, right where they meet, because I was going to get Johnnie from work. And I was with the girls, Clara, Mary, and Catherine. And y'all, I had forgotten. I was really close with my papa. I loved him very, very much. He was bedridden all of my life. He couldn't speak because of a stroke. But I loved to go and hang out with him and write back and forth with him. And I've forgotten that he had this really distinct smell. Well, we were riding down the road to come get you from work, and the car filled with the smell of my papa, who had been gone since I was very young.
Right.
And I just bawled my eyes out because I had forgotten his smell. You know how that happens when you love somebody and you don't want to ever forget all that you can remember about them. And then it just hits you because it comes back all of a sudden. And I know that was him.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know that was him telling me that he was, there.
I'm a big believer in that. Absolutely.
Me too. On that subject, I'm going to keep my story for next week on that. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget, because
Tina's got to
it would be interesting.
Tina's got to continue her story too. I wanted Tina to write a book on our experiences, but she won't do it.
Well, it's because I've tried. I started. I've tried, but the way that I tell the stories, it would not translate to a whole book, because I just get right to the point. I tell you what happened. I've got I was just trying to tell the story, and it's so far back now, and I'm getting older. I've had so much happen in between then and now that the timeline gets kind of confused. So it's just difficult. I can sit here and tell you the stories. I can't always guarantee that they're in the right order.
I have an idea. Why don't you make an audio biography, or not biography, but an audio book for it instead of writing it, just chit-chatting about your things like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could change things around and stuff and add where, I just think it would be a cool book.
Yeah, I would love to be able to do it. I just have to figure out how.
All right. Well, what else we got? Megan?
I think that's it, but there are two things I want to ask y'all. This pertains to movies. One of them, y'all remember the channel 69?
Yeah. It's the CW, no.
Oh, is it? Okay. So there was a movie, and all I can remember, and I have tried to figure out what it was. It was a movie about a dolphin, and the dolphin wasn't a real dolphin, obviously. It looked, when I picture it, it was like an animated dolphin, and it was in like this water tank. And it was in a place that was being held captive, but it spoke, it talked. And it was wanting to be freed, and it was talking to some of the people. Do y'all remember that at all?
No.
It was a weird movie, but I cannot, for the life of me, I've typed in talking dolphin captured. I don't know what it was. It was probably cheesy.
Was it called? Nope, that's 2009.
It was really cheesy.
It was from like 80s or 90s? Or?
When was it? Yeah, what?
I would have to say 80s or 90s, but that doesn't mean it wasn't made earlier.
Right.
That was when I remember seeing it. And then another movie, which I finally figured out what the name of it was. All I can remember, it was this angel who was blind and made love with his hands. And it ended up being Barbarella. Do y'all remember that? What? Like, they would sit there and just like
I was
meditate.
trying to look for your dolphin, but now I have to find this angel that made.
Did he lube his hands up first?
With his hands.
And he was blind, and he rode on a Pegasus.
Okay, hold on. I got it. You,
Oh my
you left
God.
that out. Blind angel.
Well, we know how he went blind.
Okay.
Because he was making love to his hands.
I
I'm
know.
gonna find him.
Okay, so I know this movie, Date with an Angel. That's from next year. So we'll mention it from 1987.
This was older.
Here's one. Nope, that's from 2008. I don't know. My Lord.
Okay.
He
blind
Googled himself too much.
Angel.
And it's not Barbarella?
It is Barbarella. That's it. Yep. And I remember him sitting there like this. They were like putting their hands together, and they're like, I don't know.
That's not where my brain went when you were talking about.
Okay, so that's a Jane Fonda movie. I've never seen it.
We got to watch it together, okay? And I want you to tell me what you think next week. I want to see if I remember it the way I remember it. Because back in the day, I thought it was cool shit on this earth, but now if I watch it, it's probably going to be really cheesy. So
Y'all
I think we have a movie date.
Johnny's like, I'm out. I'm out. It made me think of Demolition Man. Do you remember how they put the halos on?
Oh, yeah.
Demolition
Man.
You were talking about doing another one of those too.
The last but not least, there is a video game out there. And I want to say this was it was when I first got married. So what time era was that? 1998. PlayStation 1 was out. And
Married
I want
the first
to
time.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. So it was a video game. I want to know what it was. I cannot for the life of me. I can just tell you how it played out. So in the game, you drove a car, and like I remember driving around in the city, and it'd be like, there is a robbery in town at this jewelry store, and you'd have to go and like do missions.
Is that not Grand Theft Auto?
It wasn't Grand Theft Auto. You were
Driver?
like the person.
Was it called Driver?
I don't know that it was called Driver. I just remember I'm going to look up much play of Driver.
In Driver, you're like an undercover kind of narcish dude, and you kind of go on missions like that.
Was it a black car?
Yep, sure was.
Okay,
Look it up on Google and look up the I love that game. If that's what you're talking about.
I'm looking it up.
See,
So this is like the original Grand Theft Auto.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm going to watch a Let's Play of Driver PS1 and see and tell you next week if that's it. If not, we'll have to continue to search.
All right. I mean, you
And
can
I
look
think
at.
that's a wrap for me.
Do you remember what the cover looks like for the game?
No, I just remember the gameplay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that I remember playing that, and then there was another one that was this guy who was like, he saved women in cages.
He saved women in cages.
So
He saved them
Duke
from the
Nukem-
cages or by putting them in the cages?
I think it was Duke Nukem. That was
Oh,
probably
yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
yeah,
You remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
would go down to space, outer space, and stuff. Oh yeah.
I played that for like 10 minutes. And, no, it was over.
Yeah.
Driver
Okay.
was a good one, though. It was
Okay.
a good one.
I'll have
All
to research on that.
Anything else?
No, not for me.
Did we cover? We covered toys. Did we?
Yep.
Okay. Well, then I must not
I
have too
think so.
much to say. Let me check my list and see. if
I
there
mean, that
anything.
was my assignment, so I hope I did. Pretty sure. Oh, you know what?
You didn't do toys.
I didn't do toys.
Oh,
But I think that we'll have to just mesh
it's okay. We have
those
a
in
lot. Yeah.
next
Yeah. We can use that
Podcast,
at the
'cause
end of the
it's-
season.
12 o'clock, and we still have to
Freddy. No,
Yeah.
I just said Freddy. Jason. Is there a Freddy game? We should find out.
Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
You have to
I
buy a
think that's
pack.
my next
Oh, let me
purchase.
tell you about Dead by Daylight real quick. No, I'm thinking about it. So when you buy the characters, you're not just getting skins, you're actually getting their world. So when you buy it,
Oh.
like say you buy Freddy Krueger, you buy like Freddy's Dreamland and stuff.
do you know who I'm going to buy?
Mhm.
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers comes with Laurie Strode as a
Yeah.
survivor. And
So
they got Ash from Evil Dead. They got Samara.
is Jamie Lee Curtis in this?
That would be Laurie Strode.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Oh, I
actually
didn't know
Jamie Lee
that was-
Curtis, but yeah, it's somebody supposed to be.
I have a question too. I'm really scared of this game, but I really want to try it. Like, I have anxiety over Freddy Krueger still. I'm probably going to dream about it.
How sweet, fresh meat.
That's another topic one day I'd like to talk about is dreams.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Like
so I
that.
think that
You
was.
like that?
I think we did really good.
Is John
I
home?
like this. Let me look at his whereabouts. Oh, I can't. My whereabouts did not pick him up. Never mind.
Well, I think
No, he's not.
there's somebody behind you.
Oh
In
my
the
Don't
bed.
God.
fucking say that, fucking cunt! You gave me a heart attack.
That's all it
That's
took.
a bitch. Now I'm anxious.
You're ancient.
God, dog
It
it.
wasn't even that good. Acting that out.
All right, we're getting out of here.
I just heard a cat jump. Son of a whiskers.